Hello, Salesforce Ohana, Walters954 here. Today I'll be answering questions from you, the Salesforce community. If you want to ask me something, just leave a comment down below. This audio was recorded in a mentoring session without video, so sit back and enjoy the configuration while I answer. If you're interested in getting a mentoring session, check out salesforcementor.com. Alrighty. A good portion of it will be reading code, at least for what I like to do. And that may be just understanding what is going on the screen, what it should be doing, and like tracing how it works. And depending on your level, it may be more or less complicated. Some of it may be boilerplate questions that everyone should be able to get. So, for example, all the questions that were in Syed Sinai's developer mock interview, you should understand a lot of those questions and how to answer them properly. Another thing would be just personality-wise. Depending on the companies that you're trying to go for, culture may be a really big factor. For my company it is, so we'd want to make sure that you are a good fit for the company in terms of culture. And then more just like general Salesforce ambition questions. So I like to hire people that are very ambitious. They have a drive to get things done. They may be self-sufficient, but they understand when they need help and to reach out for help. A couple times they did try to counteroffer. For me, once I've set my mind up, there's no way of staying. You're only, if you were looking for a specific reason or because you're bored, having one new project for the year isn't going to help, or having $15,000 extra isn't going to help in the long run. So I generally just leave. If let's say you're having a more political issue in your company where maybe you don't like your manager or you're not being valued as much, positioning yourself to go to another company and then getting a counteroffer may be very useful in terms of building your career in the long run. And after a certain point, you won't really have to hunt for jobs. You'll have recruiters knocking on your door and big companies, asking you if you want to work there. For probably my last two positions for sure, I didn't do a regular interview or even apply directly. It was more just hey, we want you to work here. And then the conversation goes from there. If I wanted to go for Amazon or Google or something like that, I would have to apply. But, there's really great companies that aren't named. Nobody really knows Ad Victoriam Solution, and they're an amazing company, one of the top consulting firms. For me, there is a linear path that just a developer can take, junior, mid-level, and then senior. And then beyond that, you can move into, if you want to, you can move into certain roles. But being a senior developer is something you can stay in for a long time, and especially if you're happy, because some of the other roles come with other things that you may not be willing to do or want to do as your job responsibility. So for instance, you can always move up to a system architect from being a developer. So system architects, they do huge design. They take all of the requirements from the C-suite. They boil everything down into what tasks or what it's going to take to build whatever thing you're doing inside of Salesforce. And there's levels inside of being an architect as well. So that is kind of the role that I'm looking into taking. So being a mid-level architect and then moving even further. And then there's branches to that, because you can be integration architect, you can be system, you can be design. So there's a lot of different avenues you can go just from there. And then there is also the other avenue of project management and just management in general as a developer. So being a lead developer, where you kind of oversee other devs and guide the company or the people that you're working with to a specific goal or certain goals that the company wants to reach. And then, moving even further to guiding and branching out the entire development and configuration team, Salesforce team that you have at your company. So there are other roles, and they all split into many different branches, but there's more to reach for if you want it than just being a developer. I'm not saying that being a developer is bad or that's not a great achievement, but a lot more comes with the other types of roles. Like, say you don't really want to do presentations or speak with executives on, what you're going to be building out, then a senior developer, they may just only work on building out the more complex solutions, and they don't really have to deal with any of the executives and stuff like that. My company does do, let's say, like ramp up and training for brand new developers. So we want, depending on the level that you're coming in, we want everybody to be on the same page. So that's like reading certain books and understanding certain things. So we do get people up to speed, but at a certain point, we expect you to know certain things. Now, if you're coming in as a junior, we expect you to know how to read code, how to break down and debug and understand certain things. Mid-level, all of that, plus some other stuff. And then senior, you should know, certain things. But we like to standardize across the board how everybody's writing their code so that they can, we're all writing in the same sort of format. Like me personally, I don't really provide any specific training or anything like that. But there's tons of really good resources, especially like a mentorship class like this, where you can kind of all get on the same page and work together to train and understand how to code together. Companies put like 3 years of experience to scare people away that may not be as confident in their abilities. So I'll interview anybody that comes through if they're putting their application out there and they meet most of the requirements that go on there. But it's not like a hard cutoff. If you have 2.5 years of experience, we'll interview you just to see what you're like. It's not going to automatically filter you out if you don't have all the experience. And somebody with 6 months, and you're applying, I want to see what you know, because that means you are able to learn what we expect in 3 years in 6 months. And you could be, a really great asset and be able to learn way more than just some regular person who's taken 3 years to do all the things that you've done. For me, a big one is soft skills. So being able to communicate, being well-spoken, being a personable person. Does that make sense? Because I can teach you development. That's the easy part of stuff. But after we let you go and let you free, you have to be able to either communicate with clients, you have to be able to hold your own and work well with the team. And nobody wants like a robot that's just sitting there and we feed them information and you just do your job. We want somebody who's going to be a contributor to the company. I was in your situation 5 years ago. Maybe I didn't have as well of a community to get a Salesforce or somebody that could mentor me and really get me into the Salesforce ecosystem. So I think you guys are doing a really great job, and I would say to stick with it. Even if it's hard, even if you're struggling, you will struggle. I've struggled many times, even in school and throughout my Salesforce career. But if you stick with it, I think the payoff will be tremendously in the end. You just have to keep learning and stick with the process as it goes along. Thank you all so much for watching. If this video was helpful, make sure to smash that like button. I mean, really smash it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're interested in a mentoring session just like we had here, be sure to check out salesforcementor.com. There's a mentoring section with awesome mentors, not just myself. As always, remember, I believe in you.